because it's not on most maps anymore. Buried deep in the Arctic Circle, it was once the heart of an ancient civilization, one that worshipped the gods of frost and sky. It's said that when their guardian spirit fell asleep beneath the ice, they sealed him inside a temple made entirely of blue crystal. They believed he would only awaken if the world forgot to respect winter. And it did. Dr. Ilara Mendez, a climate scientist, explorer, and skeptic of legends. She wasn't there for stories. She was there for the melting data. Her satellite scans showed unusual energy readings beneath the oldest part of the glacier. So she and her team went digging. 14 days in, they hit something hard. A single, jagged crystal spike poked from the frozen wall, glowing faintly, like it was breathing. Against every protocol, she touched it. Just a fingertip. The moment her skin met the surface, a cold so deep it screamed into her bones raced through her body. The crystal cracked, not shattered, opened, and something ancient stirred. Ilara collapsed, feverish with cold. But her vitals? Burning hot. They medevaced her back to base. She should have died. But instead, when she opened her eyes, the walls were covered in frost, and she was levitating. Her body pulsed with power she couldn't explain. She breathed in, and the window fogged. She breathed out, and it froze. Her touch turned steel brittle. Her heartbeat summoned frost. Something inside her had changed, and far below, something else awakened. The ancient guardian? No. What rose from the depths was older, hateful. The snow demon had returned. It didn't come like a monster from a movie. It came as a storm, winds howling like lost voices, eyes staring through buildings. Her team scattered. Only Ilara stood in its path. She raised her hands, instinct. Panic and ice erupted from the ground, shielding her. Spires of frost, glass sharp, surrounded her in a ring. The demon paused. It had eyes like moonlit glass. It remembered her touch. It knew the crystal chose her. And then, it vanished in a swirl of snow. Ilara fled into the frozen wilds. Her powers unstable. Visions began, flashbacks that weren't hers. A voice, deep, soft, ancient. You bear the gift of the frostbound. But the demon is not yours to fight alone. The voice led her to the ruins of an ice temple. There, sleeping in the snow, was a creature, a panther. But not any panther. Its fur shimmered like fresh snow, and its breath curled like mist. A guardian, left behind. It opened glowing blue eyes, and bowed. Her partner had arrived. Days passed. Ilara trained, not in some glitch montage but in survival. She learned to freeze rivers to walk across, how to summon ice blades from her fingertips. The panther whom she named Nuvek guided her, hunted beside her, shielded her when her powers backfired. She was no longer a scientist. She was the frostbound protector. But the demon was growing stronger. It devoured outposts, turned forests to ice sculptures. It carved paths through windstorms and buried towns beneath avalanches. Each step closer, it called her name, Ilara. It wanted its crystal back. The final battle came without warning. A whiteout swallowed the Arctic station. The storm rolled like an avalanche. Ilara and Nuvek stood at its center, her arms wrapped in glowing frost, his claws shining like silver ice. The demon emerged, a shape of nightmares, tall as a tower, horns of ice. Its mouth never moved, but its voice echoed in her skull. You are not chosen. You are stolen. She screamed back, unleashing a wave of jagged frost. It shattered against the demon's chest. Nuvek lunged, biting into shadow. The two beasts wrestled in a swirl of snow. Ilara focused, hands together. She didn't need to fight the demon. She needed to seal it. She called to the glacier, to the ancient spirits. The winds around her rose into a vortex of ice and light. Nuvek roared, wounded but standing. The demon struck her with a claw of wind, but she stood her ground. The storm bowed to her now. She raised her hands. The earth split. The same crystal rose from the ground, larger, glowing like a frozen star. She poured everything into it, her power, her voice, her fear. The crystal sang, and the demon screamed. It was pulled into the ice, piece by piece, howling until the glacier sealed like a wound stitched by winter itself. Silence. Snow fell soft. When Ilara awoke, Nuvek lay beside her, guarding her frozen body. She had become one with the ice, her form crystalline, her breath gone. But her eyes, slowly opened. She was no longer human. She had become the eternal protector. To this day, the Arctic winds carry her name. And if you find the glacier with the crystal glowing blue, don't touch it unless you're ready to carry the storm. Because winter remembers, and so does she.